Oh, hi guys and gals, it's me George, the Shade Tree Fix-It Man. We're back at it again, and I'm going to show you another process that I'm going through. I'm getting ready to put some more floor joists in, and I said I was going to put all solid ones in on this end, but I need to keep a couple of solid ones for down at the very end over here. And so I decided I'm going to show you how I'm going to splice these together and how they're going to get supported. So the first thing I did, I only have a limited number of 12-foot 2x8s. So I have some 8-footers and some 10-footers. What I have done here, these were two 8-footers, and I have cut them down to 70.5 inches. That's an inch and a half shorter than 6 feet. So with both of them cut that length, it'll be 3 inches shorter than 12 feet because we have an inch and a half on either side with our rim joists. And you could see what happened. That board down there was perfectly flat when I laid it out here on the sawhorse 2 days ago. And well, we've had lots of sun. And even though this is in the shade most of the time, it's dry and the humidity is low and it's close to 90 today, but it's not uncomfortable working out here because the humidity is only around 40%, I believe. Anyway, what we're going to do is I had an extra sheet of plywood that my son-in-law put with the plywood that I bought because it had swelled up, and this was 3/4 inch plywood, but it's actually more than 1 inch now. And so he used that as a packing sheet because it was dirty. Well, I have ripped it down, and now I'm going to use it for a cleat on my floor joist, and it will span a foot on either side of my joint here. And what I will do is I've made it a 1/2 inch shallower this way than the actual 2x are, and I'm going to nail them on here with my nailing gun. If any of you have done any building at all, you'll know that if you use trusses, they have truss plates. And essentially all they are is perforated pieces of steel. Well, that's essentially what we've got here. Now, the crucial thing is I have already crowned this. And let me bring it in here a little bit closer so you can see what I'm talking about. I have already crowned this, and if you look down to the end of my piece of wood, you notice that I have an arrow down there. That lets me know that that's the top of the crown, and when you're putting floor joists in or ceiling joists, you always want to have your crown up. And what is the crown? Well, the crown is, if you have a piece of wood, it has a tendency to go up and back or this way. And the crown is when it goes up like that. And you always want to have your crown up, because with the weight put on it from walking on it and building on top of it, it'll gradually push that down and it'll be closer to being flat. Occasionally get a perfectly flat floor joist, but that's relatively uncommon. But the problem here now is we're going to scab these two pieces together, and I have nailed it to one, but I need to make sure that my overall board is straight. So I'm going to back you up. Like this. And I'm going to take out my chalk line. And you can't just take your chalk line and run it along the top, because if you do, if it's got a crown in the middle, it's going to hit your chalk line and push it up. So what you need is a block of wood. In this case, we have this block right here. And I'm going to take it and I'm going to smack it like that and break it in half. In fact, I'm going to break it in half twice. I think I can do that. I see cracks in it, so I think I can do it. Maybe, maybe not. Cracks are bigger on this side. Try it again. It's going to make a liar out of me, ain't it? Do it like this. Like that. Okay. So now, what I want to do is I'm going to nail it onto the top chord of my floor joist. One on this end and one on the far end. Let me do that and I'll bring you right back. Okay, now you can see I have put a 8-penny nail here. I got my block nailed on tight. Got an 8-penny nail here and I have hooked my chalk line to it. And then we're going to go down to the other end. And here we are at the other end. And we'll raise you up here again. Now I'm going to take my chalk line and I want to wrap it around. But before I wrap it around, I'm going to twist it like this. 3, 4, 5. And then I can just pull on this. Like that. Slide that string down. I should tap this back so it's a little bit more of an angle. It'll force that string down in there. Like that. Now, by twisting that around and then pulling it back, it locks that string in place, but I haven't tied any knots to it. You know what I'm saying? So here we go. Now we're going to go back to the middle. And we're going to grab our third block. Remember, these all came out of the same piece of wood. So I want you to notice, maybe I should take you around the other side. Okay, here we are around the other side. Block of wood, the same, came out of the same one. And I'm going to slide it down in here, and if this is right, it should slide in there, and it's not, which means that that end, the far end, is down and pulling down. This should be able to slide just inside there like that. I'm going to double check. Yep, I can do it at the beginning. Let me show you that. See, my block slides inside here without actually touching the string. It just slides in there, and that's what we want in the middle. So we'll come back down here to the middle, and I'm looking at you upside down in my monitor. Okay. Now I'm going to try it here. And no, it won't quite let me get in there. So let me go down the other end. Now I've moved it too far out, and I've got an 1/8 of an inch gap there. So I'm going to slide it back down. Just a smidgen. Because remember, 6 feet away moves this piece a whole lot more than it is. And it's just about right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put one nail going to back you up here again. I'm going to put one nail right here on the top, and then I'm going to double check before I finish nailing this and make sure we get it straight. I need to pull it down just a hair. Use the same process. That's going to work all the way down now. And just like truss plates are nailed in a bunch of places to hold it, we do the same with this. This essentially becomes a truss plate now. I got one nail sticking up a little bit here. We'll give it a whack. Okay, so now we got a nice straight floor joist to put in place. And not only that, this will help to give us a perspective on where to put our cleat on the ground that we can put our support posts in. And our support posts will go on the opposite side of this plate, and we're going to use the cutoffs from this as those support posts, and so we're not wasting anything, and it'll help us all the way through. Hold on to your hats. Well, I told you don't have to untie this. I'll show you how easy this is. All you're going to do is pull it like that, and then you can release it, take the pressure off it, and there you have it. You can reel up your chalk line now. One of the issues of using culled lumber is that it's twisted and bowed, and so you have to deal with that. Well, we will. When it comes time to put the plywood on, I will be straightening these out so they line up properly on the 16-inch layout for the plywood. For now, we're not going to worry about it too much. This one here is relatively straight, this one here. So we're going to put the support leg in that one and show you how we're going to do that. I've already done one, you saw over there, and that's just to tie it in place so it won't be moving around. And when I marked this one here, I was standing on the cleat board on the ground so it was in full contact. have a center mark on these floor joists, and I just want to make sure that my posts are down below the top rung. So I'm going to stand on here like that and get it all the way down to the ground. And that is plenty solid. Ain't going nowhere. And I'll do that to all the floor joists as we go along. This old man is done for today. It's around 90 degrees out. Thankfully it's not super humid, but it's still hot. So I thought I would do a few things and give you some tips before I carry on. And I probably won't be videoing me putting in the rest of the floor joists unless I find something along the way that would be helpful to somebody who is doing a similar project. So until then, this is George, the Shade Tree Fix-It Man, saying thanks for watching, commenting, subscribing, thumbs up, sharing, all them good things. Today is Saturday, tomorrow is Sunday. Being a Christian, tomorrow is a day of worship and rest for me. I encourage you to find a place of worship with those of like precious faith as well. Till next time, bye for now. Some of you all might be wondering about this nailing gun that I use. It's a Hitachi. It's one that I built houses with back in the 80s. The ID tags are all gone off of it. I can't tell you what model it is, but she's still working dandy. It does framing nails. It also does siding nails. And those are the two nails that I use the most and that I happen to have in stock. Siding nails are what I use for doing thinner stock. You'll be seeing more of that when we start putting trim on the building. That's a ways out yet. Here's my load of lumber that got delivered today for my roofing. Rafters on the left, strapping and faceboards and so forth on the right. Should be enough there to do a little bit of siding as well. Still haven't decided if I'm going to continue with the metal siding across the front to tie it in with the other one, or if I'm going to go wood siding all the way around, or we'll see. That remains to be seen. But we've got our lumber here. Keep on going as soon as I'm ready.